Republican Congressman Darrell Issa weighing in on those missing Lois Lerner emails and whether lawmakers will ever get to the bottom of what really happened.
We'll probably never know that. The drive is physically gone. What we do know from the discovery we have gotten from emails that we've gotten from multiple sources is she broke some regulations. She knew under the Federal Records Act that she had an obligation for these documents to be preserved, these emails, and to not have print to paper, which is the policy that she had to know, is pretty hard to believe that there aren't paper copies.
Okay, let's talk about with Daniel Halper. He's the online editor for the Weekly Standard. All right, Daniel, good to see you this Sunday morning.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Okay, so let's look at some of those laws that Congressman Issa pointed out, saying that Lois Lerner broke and how she broke them. You know, the Paperwork Act is what he's referring to, saying that she broke that by not keeping hard copies. Take it away.
That's correct. Actually, Lois Lerner's lawyer was on another network this morning, and he confirmed what Darrell Issa said in saying that the emails had not been taken properly, they had not been printed off, and they had not all been kept properly. So President Obama earlier this year told Bill O'Reilly that there's not a smidgen of corruption in regard to the IRS scandal. We now know that at least there is a smidgen of something, of some impropriety that both sides can agree on. The question is how far this went and whether or not there's something more nefarious at work here.
And if in fact there is something more nefarious at work here, will it be difficult to prove and pinpoint Lerner, and is prosecution possible?
Yeah, it's possible, but it's impossible to pinpoint what went wrong when not all sides are cooperating. President Obama has not given the Justice Department the authority to look into this. He has not created an independent counsel, somebody who isn't answering to Eric Holder or to President Obama, to look into this and to use the authority of a prosecutor to subpoena and whatnot. And I think that's important in getting to the bottom of this. Of course, if we don't try, we never will. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I mean, so if they discover that these emails were destroyed, didn't just disappear, might Ms. Lerner finally speak under oath in a criminal court, possibly, Daniel?
She should. I mean, keep in mind, this is how this all came to this point. She was asked to come to Congress to testify, and she pled the Fifth Amendment.
Right.
I can't say whether or not she'll waive that amendment and come clean. Of course, as this continues, it looks less and less likely that she wants to talk about this. She fears, obviously, something. Whether or not it's embarrassment or whether or not she did something wrong, we just don't know.
Let's say if Lois Lerner is ultimately untouchable, any other possible penalties inside the IRS, Daniel, or is the end game to try to connect the dots to the White House and get answers directly from the top?
I don't think that's the end game. I think most people agree that political groups were targeted. Now, President Obama's lawyer was on NBC this morning, and she said that she attributed it to a political tone deafness. I don't know what's politically tone deaf about that, but it seems weird. And so I think the question is if we can all agree that conservatives were targeted, don't we want to know why conservatives of all people were targeted by an IRS that's led by a Treasury Secretary that's appointed by President Obama? I think we'd have to be incredulous not to want to look into at least why these groups were targeted.
Yeah, and perhaps not just conservative groups, but definitely seems to be disproportionately targeted. So ultimately, give me 30 seconds here. What's going to happen? What's going to happen this week? Are we going to see some sort of forward movement with this?
I'm not so sure. I mean, I would suggest that President Obama take Hillary Clinton's advice, and Hillary Clinton said that President Obama should keep on investigating and should look into it, and she's right. Why not? I think the IRS is so invasive that and such an important institution that Americans have a right to know what went on.
American people want to know. They're like, listen, you guys make sure that we provide all the information that's necessary to keep records and track of what we're doing, so we want to hear from you as well. Daniel Halper, I have to go. Thank you so much. See you.